Today's adventure brings us to Como Lake Park in Lancaster, New York. Let's get started. People jogging, people pushing baby carriages, people walking their dogs, people running. When you first get to Como Lake Park, it has all the earmarks of a regular, everyday, normal park. But Como Lake Park does have itself a little secret. There are many that claim that Como Lake Park is haunted and has a lot of paranormal activity. So that is what we are going to deep dive here today. Okay, so where would a place like this get a paranormal reputation from? It's one of the first places when I started studying haunted Western New York that came up in my search. And there's a lot of theories as to why this would be a haunted location. The one thing I came up with was that it was native land. Native Americans hunted and fished here. But I really don't think that's enough. Just because they hunted and fished here, that would make it sacred and a paranormal location all by itself. So there's got to be another thing that makes this a haunted location. And the one thing I came up with is actually right behind me. It's the lighthouse. So let's take a look at the lighthouse. So one might ask themselves, exactly what is a lighthouse doing all by itself here at Como Park? There's certainly no ships or boats or anything like that. The lake itself, as you can see, is largely man-made. Well, the lighthouse itself is actually nothing more than a very, very elaborate decoration to help enhance the park. So as far as that goes, that's not enough for it to be a haunted location, just because it seems to have an out-of-place lighthouse, which of course, once again, is nothing more than a decoration. But as we get closer to the lighthouse, I do see something that's very interesting and could actually help explain the paranormal activity in this park, at least just a little bit. And there we see right on this lighthouse a pentagram. Now, a pentagram itself isn't enough to make a place haunted, but I do have other theories. So the pentagram itself, once again, as I said before, isn't enough to make a thing haunted. That's just ridiculous. And that star could have other meanings besides merely being a pentagram. It could just simply be an added piece of the decor. It could just represent the stars, a star to guide a ship by. You know, second star to the right, straight forward to morning. It could actually represent the North Star. So odds are pretty good that star is actually a nautical symbol and nothing else. Now, if it is a pentagram, it could be sacred design, and whoever actually designed this lighthouse could have imbued it with some kind of power. Now, there is a transformer inside of that tower to light it at night, and if there aren't going to be entities that come around, it would actually help the manifestation. Now, also, if it is a pentagram, or if it's not, it could attract people to come here and do their worshiping and had their ceremonies. Now, a lot of the paranormal things that I've investigated often start out with someone actually doing something like that and opening a door that they can't possibly close. So it wouldn't be out of the realm of possibility that if enough things like that were done here, it could actually open a door. And that could also explain some of the paranormal activity. Another thing that could explain some of the paranormal activity in this park, allegedly somebody committed suicide right at the base of this tower. Now, the one thing about suicides is they really don't make the news because the media doesn't want to glamorize suicides, and rightfully so. So I did try to deep dive a little bit of that to find out if that happened or not, and I couldn't come up with anything. So we have Native American land, we have a lighthouse statue here, basically, with a pentagram on it. So any one of those things could add up to possible paranormal activity in the park. So what exactly are the reports of the activity that emanate from this park? Well, basically what people are reporting are orbs, lights at night, and predominantly shadow people. And most of the activity does seem to center around this lighthouse. So what are people seeing? And what has stemmed these reports all these years about this park? And is it actually still haunted? Well, it's not one of those locations in Western New York that gets a lot of press and a lot of coverage about being a haunted location in itself. So all I can recommend is to come out here and experience it for yourself. Now, being out here today, that being said, it's basically a very peaceful feeling. Now, a couple things I do want to point out. That does have a transformer inside of it. So if folks come out here with a K2 meter or anything electrical to try and get evidence of paranormal activity, the K2s going off could very easily be a result of a transformer in there. And there's something else I want to point out. This park, like any location, when you go out there at night, there's a whole different feeling than there is in the daytime. So it's also possible that folks come out here at night looking for ghosts and things like that, and they more scare themselves than anything else. Now, that being said, I'm not saying this location's not a haunted location. I'm just saying, like anything else like that, take it with a grain of salt. So like I said, years ago when I was first founding Western Door Paranormal, this was actually one of the very first places we came to. Now, the night was an interesting night. We did get a lot of orb photos and things like that, and we all know exactly how orbs and that sort of thing work. A lot of it back then we could have mistaken as dust, we could have mistaken it as moisture in the air, but some of it could have very easily been actual spirits. Now, we didn't have K2s yet or anything like that, so we really couldn't record nothing else. At one point, we thought we heard knocking coming from inside the lighthouse. So it was a interesting night, and it was really neat to be out here and have it be one of the very first places that we investigated. Now, that being said, especially today, there is actually a lot of ticks out here. I was out here at a bench just now, and it was kind of infested. So if you're gonna come out here, please be aware of that. And another thing, most parks close at sunset, so definitely come out here after sunset at your own risk. So Como Park, a nice place to visit. That lighthouse is very interesting. And with that, time to get out of here. Don't forget to hit that notification bell so you can be notified when new videos drop. And don't forget to hit that like and subscribe button, and we will see you next time.